What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. It's Bring the Noise here on Bleacher Report. I'm Danny Kleppinger, joined by the degenerate himself, Brad Evans. Brad, how you feeling? You're repping the Chicago Bears. It's going to be the first game we talk about, my friend. Are you pumped?
Oh, heck yeah. And we got a little Mother Nature that could be a play in that one. I'm getting bombarded with questions on social media. I did my own AMA on my website, thegamingjuice.com. Every other question, DK, was tied to bear down Chicago Bears because people are scared about the snow and the possible wind.
Well, it's so funny because I do like to remind everybody Brad actually has a meteorology degree. So anytime weather is a big concern, he's the one to pay attention to. But look, we're going to go through every single game on the slate. Of course, talk about Monday night's game as well. Chime in with all your questions. We've got all your answers here for your boom bust bank picks and your fantasy football, who you should sit, who you should start. We'll take them on the YouTube. We'll take them on Bleacher Report app. So send in those questions as we get rolling here. But look, the meteorologist wants to get started on this Giants Bears game. So Brad, give us the weather report, how it's going to play a factor, because right now the Bears are favored by 4.5.
Yeah, we got a vigorous low pressure system, also known in weather speak as a mid-latitude cyclone, impacting the center of the country, pulling down a lot of cold Canadian air, especially for this time of year. It's downright chilly. I went out and walked my corpulent Norfolk Terrier a few minutes ago, Kirby the Gambler, and that wind was biting. I can tell you that. So there will be sustained. That means consistent winds around 20 miles an hour along the lake. You may see a couple of snowflakes fly through the air. They had some accumulating lakeshore lake effect snows, I should say, earlier today and overnight. But I think that is going to, ultimately curtail. I think it's just going to be downright chilly, a little bit breezy, wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour. I'm not completely freaking out, but if you have a pivot point, it might be more or less on the kickers as the winds typically swirl, as you know, during your days living in Chicago, DK. They're inside of the creature comforts and not so comfortable day of Soldier Field. So don't panic. But it could be a heavy dose of Kyle Menengai, DeAndre Swift, and whatever the Giants going to be trying out at running back today.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, well, since we're going there, yeah, DeAndre Swift, there was a bit of a question mark if he was going to play. He is going to play today, and I think he's going to go over his 51.5 rushing yards because he should be pumped that he's going up against the Giants. They're last in opponent yards per carry, last in opponent rush success rate, and last in opponent rush EPA. It's going to be a great day for him. And you're telling me cold weather, so hand the ball off, hand the ball off, hand the ball off against a team that's on a 3-game losing streak and has not won away from home. Absolutely. DeAndre Swift, start him, play him, gonna have a big day.
Yeah, I think really the 1B in this situation is going to be his tag team partner, Kyle Menengai. I'm a big fan of him. The pride of Piscataway, a guy that's up there now, top 15 in the NFL, yards after contact, more attempt. He is more powerful than DeAndre Swift. I think he's going to find the end zone as well. I mean, Ben Johnson said he's going to ride the hot hand. Whoever gets it, who will get that upper hand will determine volume and workload, but you already laid it out. The G-men are easily gashable. I say Kyle Menengai runs for at least 60 yards. I think he finds the end zone as well.
Let's get into some of these questions. Remember, you can ask them both on Bleacher Report and on YouTube. Will on YouTube wants to know if you should start Devin Singletary today.
What are your other options, Will? Really, this is the dregs the keg kind of scenario. I know the Bears, you look at them, they're a little bit leaky defensively, but more so on the back end. They can tighten up at times. They made some strides, although they didn't show it last week, but they have vastly improved compared to like the first 3 weeks of the season in the trenches. So it really depends upon what the option B and C is. But you're looking for like 40 total yards and a cloud of dust. Sure, Devin Singletary is your guy.
Okay, so not going to just rack up the scoreboard there. Okay, let's get to some tight end questions. John on YouTube wants to know if you should start Andrews, Kincaid, or Fannin.
Oh, Dalton Kincaid. I think he's going to find the end zone, DK. Miami is absolutely repugnant defending the pass. They're bottom 5 in pass EPAD. Fire up Kincaid. Again, he's going to splash 6 today.
Okay, but what about if someone's asking Jay Lopez over on Bleacher Report app, JMO or Kincaid in a full PPR?
Oh, my God. You're pulling at my heartstrings now. I love me some JMO. I'm taking a shot at Jameson. I wrote about it on thegamingjuice.com this week. He was my fantasy Flames poster boy at the wide receiver and tight end position. So I'm going to stick with my gut. I think it's another 60 plus and a tutty for JMO.
Let's talk Bills Dolphins, shall we? Bills are favored by 8, obviously feeling really good about that win over the Chiefs. They've now won 2 straight. The Dolphins hosting them, and it's been quite a long week since they lost to the Ravens on Thursday Night Football last week. But you and I are looking at the same guy, but for 2 different reasons. So I'm going to let you have the floor first.
Yeah, I got a plan for Devon Achan, and so do you, but mine is on the ground. I'm taking the over on 61.5 rush yards. I think he's going to be a firm, high-end premium RB2 in 12-team leagues through and through. The Bills can't stop the run. Number 29 rush EPA defense are giving up 5.1 yards per carry, 107.6 rush yards per game just to running backs. And you look at Achan, he already went over this number against the Bills early season at 62 rush yards in week 3. He's done this in 6 of his last 7, and he is top 10 in missed tackles, top 10 in yards after contact per attempt, and top 10 on my betting wish list today in fantasy as well. So give me Devon Achan over on the 61.5 rush yards.
Now, when I say I'm fading him in the receiving game, that doesn't mean that I don't agree with you, because I do agree with you on the ground. I just don't think he's getting him through the air. And the fact that it's at 32.5 receiving yards for his prop is head scratching, because he's only gone over 30.5 twice all season long. But the Bills have allowed the second fewest receiving yards to running backs this season. So if you have Achan, he's probably getting it done on the ground, like Brad said. But just a prop I was going to go under on a bit later today. Okay, so Ravens, Vikings. Ravens favored by 4, Brad. Obviously, the Ravens got off to a disappointing start, but they've won their last 2 games. Vikings are also coming off a win. I like Jordan Addison to get into the end zone today, because I realize he hasn't been able to really follow up that 12 target showing from week 7 against the Eagles. But Ravens are not going to want Justin Jefferson to hurt them. I think that's where all their focus is about to go. So I think because of that, he's going to get some of those favorable matchups. This is possibly going to be a shootout, in my opinion. What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, look, I like Isaiah Likely. I think he could be a Rip Van Winkle of sorts. As I'm watching Jonathan Taylor just run wild. Oh, my God, he's taken to the house. What was that, like a 70, 80-yard touchdown? Holy mother of the fantasy gods, folks. If you're going against Jonathan Taylor, I apologize. You just got sawed in half. He has been a buzz saw in this game. I think he's now over 200 yards on the ground, a pair of touchdowns, tearing up single-handedly. Spricken Sie Deutsch! DK over there in Germany, earning all the schnitzel as Indianapolis about to go up 23-17. They might go for 2, though.
The hell of a rant you're on right now. This is wild.
Well, yeah, it's what I do for a living. I, have a live betting show called BetMGM tonight, Monday through Friday. So we have to do play-by-play, and I'm captured in the moment because I have a lot of Jonathan Taylor in fantasy. I like Isaiah Likely. I won't give any other reasons. I'll take the over 2.5 catches, 330, and a possible touchdown onto the page for him today.
I love it. Look, I feel like some of you need to get into some of this rant. So send in your questions, Bleacher Report app and on YouTube. A-Rod wants to know defense, Browns, Bills, or Steelers today?
Browns, Bills, or Steelers? Bills are great. Steelers not so great. But I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns. You need a reason to watch that game. Honestly, it could be deployed in various instances as a torture tactic. That's watching Browns and Jets. It's going to be puke-inducing, to say the least.
Gotta have some reason to want to watch it. Izzy wants to know Theo Johnson or Loveland in a PPR.
Coastal Loveland. Look, I know the winds are going to be a little bit blustery in Chicago, again, sustained around 20 miles an hour, gusts to 30. No need to panic, but that actually could amplify the short field intermediate pass game. I like Coastal Loveland. The breakout happened last week. Not as good of a matchup, but the Giants are still soft defensively. Bear down.
Had to throw that in there. L. Wilson on the app wants to know Garrett Wilson or Jordan Addison, and then Tyrone Tracy or DeAndre Swift.
Do you really trust Justin Fields? Because I don't. Not against the Cleveland Browns defense, which is pretty stiff and stout. That's because you're a Bears fan.
That's not even fair.
No, listen, give me a break here. I'm going to fade that narrative. I'm going to go the other direction. I want nothing to do with that matchup. But the other one, I forgot the guy's name, but I will go with it.
Wait, Garrett Wilson, Jordan Addison, Tyrone Tracy, or DeAndre Swift? Is that what you were asking?
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't hear all 4 of those. I only heard the first 2. I'm actually going to go, I will go DeAndre Swift. However, you got to make sure that he gets a hot hand at least for a little bit. He could still split that timeshare, and I think it's going to be pretty close to a 50-50 and still get 50 yards and a touch. So I will play that upside.
Okay, thank you. We got you back L. Wilson. Ryan wants to know, should he start Love or Mayfield today?
Love is tomorrow against the Philadelphia Eagles and Chili Lambeau Field. I'm gonna go with Baker, the touchdown maker, and a game that's got a lot of pew 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 shootout appeal
Yeah.
against New England. Coming off the bye, I think he gets right. So yeah, give me Baker.
Grim wants to know Brees Hall or Kyle Monangai.
Never Brees Hall. Brees Hall ain't a happy camper right now. I don't know if you were
Yeah.
following on social media post trade deadline. He's disgruntled. He's not exactly psychologically motivated, DK. And the Browns, they gobble up all kinds of running backs. Go on guy.
You know what? Let's just talk about that game, shall we? Browns Jets. Browns are favored by 2 when this is so exciting. Browns who are 2-6, Jets are 1-7 on the year, and they just traded away Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. Okay, well, let's give your thoughts on Brees Hall. I'll let you expand on that because you also had a prop for him.
Yeah, he's a Debbie Downer. I'm going to take the under as a result on 65.5 rush yards. Way too aggressive a number. I think it's bat bleeping crazy. It's that high. Why? You look at Cleveland, number 2 in rush EPA defense on the season. They're only giving up 3.67 yards per carry, 77.3 rush yards per game, only to the running back position. And Hall has been under this in 4 of his last 7. Davis's role is growing. Fade Brees Hall. And yes, I would sit him, and comfortably so, in 12-team leagues.
I just want to tell people, if you have Njoku, now would be the time to capitalize on this at plus 270, Brad. Plus 270 for him to get in the end zone. That's crazy against the Jets, who have allowed the second most receiving touchdowns to opposing tight ends all season. Just loved that wager. Okay, let's talk Patriots Bucks. Before we do, actually, let's get a couple more questions. We're really starting to roll with some of these. Joey on YouTube, Theo Johnson or Jacoby Myers for the flex position?
I think Jacoby Myers got to play a little bit more than some people anticipate because of Brian Thomas Jr. being out in County. So gut feeling, Myers.
Matty Boy on the app. I know we talked about Singletary, but he's making the decision between Singletary or Hubbard.
Why? Dude, just end your season right now. Like, you got no hope for the postseason if you're deciding between Singletary and Hubbard, unless you're a sicko like me that plays in maybe you're in like a 20-team fantasy league. Then that question is warranted. I guess Devin Singletary, but sacrifice about a dozen chicken wings to fantasy gods because it could be a long day.
You guys, this is what happens when these games start early and Brad's tequila starts flowing before he comes live for actual kickoff. Julio wants to know Hurts or Dart at quarterback?
Hurts or Dart? I think they're going to be comparable, honestly, DK. I know you might say, oh, weather's going to play a factor in Chicago, but I'm going to side with Jackson Dart. The Bears, again, have been skewable via the pass, and Jackson Dart has scored with his legs in 4 straight games. That is going to be a point of emphasis today in Chicago. And yes, I gambled on it as well. Dart, anytime touchdown, plus 200. Let's go.
V. Donovan, Henderson, Judkins, or White? One has to sit.
I'm gonna say Travion Henderson. I know he got some volume last week.
Really?
Yeah, but you got Vita Vea. You got a very accomplishable defense there in Tampa. Yeah, they've been better on the back end as well. I like Rachaad White a little bit more because the Patriots in that game have given up the most receptions, the running back position. So yeah, I think Travion's the guy to sit.
Interesting. I think he's gonna have a really big game rushing and receiving. I'm actually taking his over on 72.5 rushing plus receiving yards in this game. Super enticing. I know. So let's get into it. Bucks are favored by 2.5. He's hot right now heading into week 10. Week 8, 75 yards, 10 touches. Week 9, obviously Stevenson out, 87 yards, 18 touches. He's out again. So why not? Tampa Bay's rush defense is better than its pass defense. So that's why I'm trying to get in there that receiving yards aspect of it all. But I do think he can have an overall well-rounded game. And you are still backing Rachaad White regardless of what I'm saying right now, huh?
Yeah, he's got flexy, sexy appeal. I think he's got to be towing the line of the RB2 ranks when it's all said and done. Again, the Patriots are allergic to defending a short field from running backs that scored out into that area of the field. And they're going to 6.1 receptions per game, the position. That's the most in the NFL. White's run around over 16 times per game. It could be like a 4-catch, 30-yard, maybe around 35 to 45 rush yards, possible touchdown. That'll get the job done, being a Swiss Army knife and cutting through that D via ground or air in 12-team leagues.
Let's talk about what Doodle's talking about here. Roma Dunze or Garrett Wilson?
I don't trust City Jet. I know Squeaky Wheel may get the grease in Chicago. Roma Dunze, he's not a happy camper right now. And possibly Bears scored 47 points last week. He didn't have a single stinking catch. I think they're going to get him involved early. I wouldn't fret too much about the conditions along Lake Michigan. Play Rome Adunze and just ignore the logo on my hat.
Jay Lee on YouTube. Vital, Kamara, Metcalf, or Kincaid at flex in a full PPR.
Vidal, Kamara, Kincaid. Oh, Kincaid. I'll stop there. You had me at him. Again, I think he's going to find the end zone.
Okay.
What's that?
And Metcalf was the other one.
No, still Dalton Kincaid. I think he's got the highest floor of that Quattro. I took Spanish for 4 years. That's all I remember. And don't know your style.
Literally.
So for me, DK knows because she's fluent in the language. I am definitely going to Kincaid. I think 50 yards and a touchdown, 4 or 5 receptions. Very doable for him.
Uno más cerveza, por favor. That's the only one you need, Brad. Saints, Panthers. Panthers are favored by 5.5. Can they get their 6th victory of the season? Like, this is wild. And you and I are on the same guy, Rico Dowdle, to have a huge game. Tell him why. I think he's going over 100 plus rushing yards. I mean, you think he's going to have a crazy day too.
Yeah, what's crazy is whether you take the individual bet at 100 plus rush yards, it's plus 110. If you build the same game parlay, I'm going to feature anytime touchdown, 75 plus rush yards. It's also plus 110. So I think he's going to achieve all the feats. He's one of those guys that we break out the ladder on. We talk about that in betting often. You take him at the standard number and then a whole bunch of alternative lines. I may even play it up to like $1.25. He is going to run rampant. He is going to go off. Don't worry about the quad, folks. He is A-OK. Canales has said they're just managing him to make sure they can get maximization out of him. And it's the New Orleans Saints. They're awful. They're trending toward and hurling toward number 1 overall pick, and they're giving them 109.8 rush yards per game, only to running backs. Rico Arena. Dowdle is going to be Mr. Suave for you fantasy fans today.
Let's talk Jags Texans. Texans are, this is a pick 'em, favored by 1 right now. So it's super big. This will be interesting. Quarterback CJ Stroud, obviously still recovering from a concussion. The Texans obviously have Jacoby Myers in the lineup now. Can that give them a big boost? I don't know. I mean, I'm not a huge Trevor Lawrence bandwagon person at the moment. I would take the under on his passing yards. The Texans defense ranks 1st in opponent dropback EPA, 2nd in opponent dropback success rate, 4th fewest passing yards per game, allow 177.5. So yeah, I don't think it's going to give that much of a boost.
Yeah, look, Trevor Lawrence is never going to be the guy. You know, we all thought he was going to be a generational quarterback coming out of college, and he just continues to live down to that current expectation, which is a complete underachievement. I think it's going to be more of the same, but I like Dalton Schultz. I know Davis Mills is going to be at the controls for this Houston Texans, offense with CJ Stroud out due to the concussion. But Schultz, I'm going to take the over on 4.5 catches. I got a plus 125 this morning, DK. He's done this in 5 of his last 6. Oh, what a quickie dink. He had 5 catches against the Jags in week 3. It's going to be more of the same. Jacksonville, folks, has allowed the 5th most reception, 6.9, nice, per game the position this season, like Schultz.
All right, let's get to some more of these questions because they are really rolling in. We see them. We're going to continue to go through every single game on the slate, but let's take a quick break, take some of these questions here. Star wants to know DJ Moore or Slayton.
Again, with Slayton being a long bomb specialist, he may be impacted by the breezy conditions. I can't trust him. I'll go the other way.
Card over on the Bleacher Report app, Debo or Tet at flex in a full PPR.
Well, Tet was a late addition to the injury report. He's going to be okay, but he's got a soft tissue issue. You know those always win.
Those linger. We don't like that.
No, we do not. So give me Debo. Yes, even Marcus Mariota at the controls.
Well, AC also has Debo that he's asking about. He needs to know who he's going to sit. Debo, JMO, Stephon Diggs, or Henderson.
Now, out of that group, I would say Debo. It's really close between him and your boy, Travion Henderson. But yeah, I think Debo is the odd man out.
Does that mean that I just talked you into it? That's what it sounded like. Cody on the Bleacher Report app, Diggs or Debo? We just get all these Debo questions out of the way at the moment.
No, can you Diggs it? Hell yes, I can, especially over Debo.
And our good has a Debo question as well. It's a dynasty league. Should he start Demario Douglas, Johnston, or Debo?
Definitely not Demario Douglas. Pop Douglas, a bit of a flash in the pan last week. And again, the Buccaneers are getting better. You know what? I roll a dice with Quentin Johnston. I know Herbert spreads the love around, but Pittsburgh's defense, it's not the steel curtain, it's the soft version.
Let's go to the NFC West, shall we? Cardinals, Seahawks. Seahawks favored by 7 last time that they played each other. Seattle's pass rush had a huge day, sacked Kyler Murray 6 times. They're not playing Kyler Murray today, though. So it's a different situation. Curious if you have a different take on what you think is going to happen here.
Yeah, I do a little bit. I'm gonna go with Rashid Shaheed, and I'm gonna live and land down under DK on this one at 38 and a half receiving yards. And he's another guy that may see a little bit more of an opportunity in this offense, but it's gonna take some time. These are direct quotes from Clint Kubiak when asked about Shaheed and how he's gonna be utilized from the get-go. He said, needs quick integration, end quote, quotes, needs to learn a lot fast, end quote. So that's very telling. That's a context clue, people, that I think he's only going to play a limited number of snaps. Cooper Kupp trending in the right direction. JSN is a main man. I don't think Shaheed will have more than a couple of catches. Now, he could go for like 1 catch and 40 yards, and I look like a giant idiot as a result, but I do not trust him for fantasy or betting purposes. Sit him down today. Give him a week.
Obviously, JSN has all the attention, but Charbonnet, I think, can get in the end zone. So if you wanted to throw some bucks on him, it's at plus 145. So pretty juicy for a guy that's getting that short yardage work. Obviously, it's JSN's time to shine, but let's stick in the NFC West, shall we, before we go to more questions, just because there's another matchup between the division. Rams and Niners. Obviously, it was a gut-wrenching loss for the Rams to the Niners in week 5. I think they were completely stunned after that, but they didn't let it stop them. They bounced back, winning 3 straight, all by double digits. You're going right back to the CMC factory.
Yeah, and he's gonna not make me sweat, baby. I'll take the over on receiving yards. I've done that every single stinking week. The guy is the greatest matchup nightmare. I demand you argue somebody else in the NFL. I mean, Bijan's kind of in that conversation, but CMC is just a tour de force right now, especially through the air. Remember, he had 9 targets, 8 grabs for 82 yards against this same opponent, that being the LA Rams earlier this season back in week 5. He's running the most routes of any running back in the league, trotting out 80.1% of the time on a pass route. He's averaging 10.3 yards per catch, number 3 in yards per route run. And the other key takeaway here is that the Rams, the only beatable area they are is really in the short field because they've been really good down the field in coverage. So I think CMC will be a point of emphasis yet again in the rematch against the Rammies.
I'm big on touchdowns today. I don't typically take a whole lot of touchdown props, so I liked him today. George Kittle plus 140 to get in the end zone. He's had 6 touchdowns in 13 games against the Rams. He's always a matchup issue as well. So I know he was only targeted 2 times in his first game back, 9 more times in the last couple games, but I do think he gets in the end zone. And the juice, I really liked it. Okay, let's go back to some of these questions before we get to the Lions Commanders game. You're mad over on the Bleacher Report app. Says Odunze or Flowers?
Oh, Rome Odunze, will that squeaky wheel get the grease? Zay Flowers has a primo matchup as well against Minnesota. Honestly, I think the higher floor and safety first. Have to think about that, DK. I'll go with Zay. Probably a really strong candidate for like 5 catches, 65, 70 yards. A little bit more safety compared to Odunze.
Okay, we are about 6 minutes to it being 30 minutes away from kickoff. So we are going to run through some of these, Brad, rapid fire, because we still have 3 more games on the slate to get to. So Eric on the Bleacher Report app, pick one: Keenan Allen, Flowers, or Harrison Jr.
Oh, man, I love me some Keenan Allen. 50 plus at a tutty. Book it.
GR on the Bleacher Report app, Hurts or Stafford?
Stafford, higher floor. Hurts, I really need that tush push to command value.
Debo, really popular pick here. Golden wants to know, would you start him or Harrison Jr.?
Harrison Jr. Do you really trust Debo with Marcus Mariota? I don't.
Goddard or Gadsden if he has Jalen Hurts?
Oronde Gadsden, bro, right? The hottest stinking hand imaginable.
Johnny over on the Bleacher Report app, Tez or Slayton?
Again, with Mother Nature playing a role in Chicago, I will go with Tez and Papa Pez.
Super over on YouTube, PPR Flex League, PPR Flex position, excuse me, DeMarcado or Little Bill.
It's definitely not Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. I will go with D. Mercado. Bill, pretty big disappointment this year. Try to tell you.
Kratos wants to know Myers or Rome.
I'll go Roman Dunze here.
Okay.
Jacoby Myers, again, we don't know what the snap share is going to be. I think he's going to play maybe 15 to 20 snaps, and that could be it.
All right, let's get to this Lions Commanders game. Lions are favored by 8, and they are coming off one of the most disappointing losses that you can think of in recent memory, going up against one of the most heartbreaking defeats in playoff franchise history for the Lions as well. So this is a big one, a lot on the line here. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to have a really big game. I like his over 79.5 receiving yards. He just continues to prove over and over again why he's one of the best wide receivers in the league. Despite losing to the Vikings, he still had 9 catches for 97 yards. In week 7, before Detroit's bye, he had 6 catches, 86 yards. Commanders' pass defense is terrible. So I mean, like literally awful. So I think St. Brown's going to have a day. What about you?
Yeah, I concur with you, Captain. I'm going to go with Jamison Williams. I took the over in 44.5 receiving yards. I would ladder the hell out of this. Take him at 50, take him at 60. This could be a monster game for him. I think he's got to find the end zone. John Morton said we got to get him more involved. He goes, I failed you. Those were John Morton's words a couple of weeks ago when asked about J-Mo and how he's been underutilized. You're right. Marshawn Lattimore's out. And even with Lattimore, they've been rubbish, DK.
Horrible.
Rubbish. Pick on the Commanders, make some cash, get some fantasy wins, start JMO.
29th in the NFL for pass defense. Like that's awful.
Yeah.
And the run defense
terrible.
is bad too. Let's get to Steelers Chargers, shall we? Because that's our Sunday night football matchup that we're going to watch. Chargers favored by 2.5 here. Pittsburgh's coming off a win over the Colts. LA the Titans 27-20 last time out. Who are you looking at?
Now let's go with the bearded veteran, and I will gladly tug on the next sweater there of Keenan Allen. 50-plus receiving yards. I grabbed at plus 125. That was in the alt market there, folks. The Steelers have allowed the most wide receiver yards of any defense in the NFL, and he'll get a mixture of Eccles and Porter in coverage, working inside, working outside. Doesn't really matter. He's seen 8.3 targets per game, and he's top 30 in a lot of other advanced metrics that have caught my eye. So I think this is going to be a Keenan Allen kind of game, maybe more so than Ladd, maybe more so than Quentin Johnson or Gadsden. A nice weaponry there for Justin Herbert. Really embarrassing to riches, but I like Allen. 50-plus receiving yards at plus 125.
LA is like right in the middle of the pack when it comes to rushing yards allowed. So I do think Jaylen Warren should also have a pretty big game. Over 57.5 rushing yards would be my thought process. He's carried the ball 13 plus times in 5 of 7 games this season. So just from the workload alone, it seems like that's a pretty low number. So I like that quite a bit as well. Okay, we've gone through every single game on the Sunday slate. Of course, we got to get to that Eagles-Packers game in just a moment. We got a couple questions I want to get to before we get to that Monday game. Rodgers or Darnold?
Rodgers or Darnold? The answer is not Aaron Rodgers. So yes, I'm going to go with Sam Darnold, who just is continuously getting disrespected on the national and fantasy scenes.
Yeah, Mort, that was for you over on the Bleacher Report app. Also on the Bleacher Report app are good. Tez Johnson, Singletary, or Musgrave at Flex, PPR League.
Tez Johnson, and man, a lot of Singletary questions, which I find utterly fascinating. He's still going to be involved in RBBC, and you look at Jackson Dart, he's a real force on the ground. It must be. I look, I don't understand it, but Tez Johnson for me.
Okay, Rob on the Bleacher Report app, Aaron Jones or Monungai?
Kyle Monungai in a walk.
Jay on the Bleacher Report app, Garrett Wilson or Nico Collins?
Nico Collins also in a walk.
You are literally so sassy today. It's so wonderful. This is what happens, people, when NFL starts before early on in the day. It gives Brad a reason to drink early. Okay, Eagles, Packers. Packers favored by 1. Another pick 'em. We love to see it. If you remember last year, Green Bay's season began and ended with losses to the Eagles, Brazil, and then in the playoffs. What do you think is going to happen here, Brad? You're all about A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I've been thumbing through Inner Excellence, and I am buying what that author is selling, and so is AJ Brown. And I think he's going to deliver. Look, his role has been getting back to what we've grown accustomed to seeing over the last handful of weeks. He's gone over 56 and a half receiving yards, which is his prop right now, in 3 of his last 5 games. And I know Green Bay's middle of the pack in terms of their pass coverage. They're number 14 in drop back EP80, but I got a feeling that getting down with a little AJ Brown will be profitable this week, whether in player props or in fantasy. Count on him.
I love it because he's in my lineup, and that's what I like to hear. Because selfishly, I want to do well at my fantasy football games as well here, everybody. All right, look, we are officially 30 minutes from kickoff. So let's get these last final questions in here. We've gone through every single game on the slate. Draper on the Bleacher Report app, DJ Moore or Christian Watson?
Not Christian Watson, brah. It's the Eagles secondary, and how many targets is he really going to get? Go with DJ Moore. Don't panic about the weather.
Shay says, shout out from Wyoming. Hello. Justin Herbert's QB looking for the best floor after the early games. Needs 1 running back, 1 flex, full PPR league. Here's your choices. ETN, Kenneth Walker, DK Metcalf, or Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen's in. And I guess the higher floor is probably going to be with Travis Etienne. And shout out to the great state of Wyoming. Great fireworks. When I lived in Denver, that was a road trip annually every summer.
Covered basketball games in Wyoming, and literally walking from the court up the bleachers and back down, I just lose so much air. There's such high elevation there. You realize you're really not in shape when you go to Wyoming. A-Rod over on the app at quarterback, Sam Darnold, Caleb Williams, Jared Goff, or Jackson Dart.
Wow, all tremendous options. I think I have every single one of those guys inside my top 10. Here's the deal. If you want the highest floor possible, I think it's with Jared Goff. If you're chasing ceiling, I think you got to go with Caleb Williams. So it's all about how much you want to risk. If you want to minimize the risk, go Goff. If you're like, screw it, let it ride, go with Caleb Williams.
And let's get this last question here from Julio over on the Bleacher Report app. AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, or Travis Etienne. You have to pick one for the flex position.
AJ Brown, I'm going to stick to my guns. Again, I think he's going to hit the over on 56 and a half receiving yards, and I got a good gut feeling he's going to find the end zone on Monday as well.
And isn't it fun when it's like you're relying on your Monday night pick? It makes it that much more interesting. Yeah. We love the adrenaline rush that is a Monday night football game for this fantasy football turnouts. Okay, everybody, hope you had some fun. Pour up. Brad obviously already has, so why don't you join him? Have a great Sunday. Remember, we're here every single week going through every single game on the slate. Fantasy football questions, start, sit. We've got some props in there as well. Make sure you join us next week. But for today, have some fun.